if we're using chutes, what, if anything, the speed changes here. So let's have all three of these running at the same time. Oh my god. Mining speed on all three of these is the same when we're using chutes. This should be 2 times 65, and this should be 3 times 65. We're using all three drills, but because of chutes underneath it, for whatever reason, it doesn't work. What if I put a hopper underneath it? This number's climbing. It's climbing. Yeah. Hopper underneath it works. What if we do a funnel? No way. Chutes are the problem. Using funnels and using hoppers both work. Chutes don't work. Why? Welcome back to another video on the Create mod. This time we're going to be going over cobblestone generators in the new Create 6.0. Cobblestone generators are pretty darn simple. You need water and lava to create a piece of cobblestone. This will continuously generate forever infinitely. In the Create mod though, we have things called drills, which when given a source of rotational power, will break a block in front of it without us having to do anything. This can make a pretty easy cobblestone generator. If we put something like a hopper beneath it, then it would pick up these items and then you have a cobblestone generator. The difference though between Create 6.0 and previous Create versions, as you've seen here, in older Create versions, even if you had a hopper beneath this item, it would still pop out as you saw just then. But in the new Create 6, we can do something a little bit more special. If you have an inventory under it, and we'll get into these other two later, but let's just say a hopper underneath, and we power this drill, it will, as you can see, break the block without dropping it out, and it'll just go straight into this hopper, and it is a little bit quicker as well because it's not waiting for the lava to flow over and create a new block of cobblestone. This is what we're primarily going to be focusing on today, since this is going to kind of gauge our new cobblestone generator designs that we'll go over later in the video. So as I mentioned, an inventory that can obtain items must be below the cobblestone block in order for this thing to work. So let's say we move a drill over here and we use something like a funnel instead of a hopper. You can see the same thing is happening. This can work with brass funnels as well, and the same is true for chutes, and they will all go into the item vault down below. One thing that's interesting and was not discovered by me is the speed at which cobblestone will be mined depending on how many drills are around it. So in this example, we just have one drill continuously mining our cobblestone block at 256 RPM. In this example here, we have 2 drills on either side of our cobblestone block, mining it again at 256 RPM. So we have double the amount of breakable thingies going around this cobblestone block. And as you would expect, and I've done the math to make sure because I didn't believe it, this will produce double the amount of cobblestone. I've been running this for 83.55 minutes. And you can see here all of the stats for each of these miners. To go over these stats, this one is gray, this is light gray. So gray is 1 miner, light gray is 2. Our gray machine gets about 6,550 cobblestone per hour, and our light gray one, with double the amount of drills, gets pretty much double that at 13,091. For all intents and purposes, 2 drills means it mines doubly as fast. And then I was wondering, what happens if you do 3 drills? And that's what we have over here. On the black wool side, we have 3 drills all mining the same cobblestone block, and as you could probably expect, you can see here that we have 19,635.7 blocks of cobblestone per hour. And if we multiply our original gray one by 3, so 3 drills instead of 1, we get 19,635, which is our exact number here. So the drills scale linearly with the speed at which we gather cobblestone. This is going to be very useful later on in the video once we go over some cobblestone generators for real. The last question I wanted to answer was how much stress units affected the speed of this. So we have a new drill over here that's mining at 170 RPM. This is just a random number I chose that's not like easily divisible by 16. So it's a little bit different than 256. But as you can see, the light blue is going at pretty much half the speed, honestly, which is kind of surprising since the exact half speed of 256 is 128, which is a lot lower than 170. So let's get the exact numbers on how quickly this is. Yeah, so interestingly, the speed of this mining is 1/2.0007 as fast, almost identical to 128 RPM but you are just burning more stress units. I don't know the exact math on how drills to stress units work. My guess is stick with 128, 256, 64, something that is a multiple of 8, because Minecraft loves those numbers. And so do most of the things in the create mod. But now let's move on to our cobblestone generators. So we're using the same method of 2 drills on 1 cobblestone block, and this is pretty much infinitely tileable as long as you have an item vault underneath it and a way to get items out of said item vault. I'm using chutes underneath here, I think because they're the cheapest, at least with general items, since they only require iron instead of something like kelp for funnels, or wood for hoppers. This is just a kind of smaller version of what I would probably ideally have if I wanted to power an entire base off of this thing, but something this size is actually still quite efficient. It's probably not as efficient as the kind of olden day 0.5 create cobblestone generators, but it is a lot better client side, so if you don't have a god PC, it's probably better to go with one or many of these. As for rates, this thing, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks long and has 2 sets of cobblestone generators, generates 65,500 cobblestone per hour over here in this section, which isn't too bad, especially considering you can bump this item vault up to 9 blocks long before it restarts again. So you can expand this to quite a bit larger without needing to do any additional kind of item collection and stuff than just a funnel out the front. This is quite big though, with a lot of empty space, so I was hoping I could maybe get this down to a smaller size. Unfortunately, you kind of have to have this kind of T pattern since drills require being powered from the back. I did manage to shrink the item vault by quite a bit just by using the 1x3 item vaults, and even though this one is quite a bit smaller, it has 6 drilling contraptions, each with 2 drills on it. This produces 36,000 cobblestone per hour. And just to kind of drive home the message that we figured out earlier, the more drills on a block, the better. So the faster it is, the better it's working. So you could have 2 of these next to each other, and then it would be pretty close to the speed of this, and actually a little bit faster since it's another block longer. But now let's confirm our new Create cobblestone generators to kind of the state-of-the-art one from Create 0.5. This is kind of the go. This thing is so fast. It is pretty compact, all things considered. I think it is smaller than this bigger one here, and it would be smaller than this one if we added another set up over on this side. So it is very compact, really quick. You can shrink the height by 1 if you don't want to do an item vault here. The only issue is it's pretty laggy client side, so if you don't have a pretty good PC, you can't run a ton of these at one time, which is why these are going to be better. But how much better is this one, in fact? As you can see, I've already set up some counters, and for our red machine, yeah, it generates 144,000. That is pretty much double what we're seeing for our bigger machine here at 64,000, which is kind of crazy that this is twice as fast as our big boy here. I don't know the exact lag differences between this one and this one over here, but the goal of this from the Create authors was to reduce the lag on cobblestone generators on servers and on single player worlds so that people can play them and not just lag out their game fully. But if you have a god tier PC and don't care about a little bit client side lag, this one is still going to be way faster for the compactness that it is. If you're going to be using a lot of these though, I would probably switch to the Create 6 cobblestone generators, because even for me, I have a pretty nice PC. This starts to chunk my world. If you go on the Createaholics World download whenever that's available and head over to my base, yeah, it's pretty brutal. So, yeah, maybe steer clear of this now that we have these in here. Now let's move on to crushing wheels, because obviously you're not going to really be measuring your output in items an hour. You're going to be measuring it with how much you can put in a crushing wheel before you need another set of crushing wheels. The good news about this farm is that even if this item vault is full forever, you can keep running stuff. So the benefits kind of even out with this farm over here, which needs an on and off switch and a threshold switch on this item vault to properly output stuff. This one does not. It will continuously mine these things, and if this chute is full, it just won't even bother putting it in, which is really nice. It makes these types of farms a lot easier to deal with when you're making a contraption, and that is equally useful here. If we have too much cobblestone that we're generating, eventually our vaults or whatever we're using will fill up, and so will our source up here delivering it to the crushing wheels, but that won't be too big of a problem. So ideally you would want slightly more cobblestone than what these crushing wheels can churn through, so that you're netting a kind of cobblestone buffer and then just letting the thing fill up. But what are the rates for crushing wheels? So I've been running this for 20 minutes now, and you can see here we are pretty consistent at around 65,000 items per hour, which is honestly incredibly close to this one over here. If we look at our counter from before, we can see that this is generating just over 65,000, which is pretty perfect, all things considered. So we probably have another 400 per hour being generated from this big machine, but it seems like this is the perfect number of drills and stuff and item vault size to be able to fully saturate a pair of crushing wheels. The benefit for this is that we can just hook up an item vault here, have a funnel going out into a set of crushing wheels to crush it into gravel to then use it for whatever you need. So that is really helpful. In the wake of this video, I am going to make a bunch of Create 6 contraptions that require the new Create 6 cobble generators. So you'll see this in pretty much every one that I do, like an iron farm, andesite farm, pretty much everything will use this system. Unless you all know of a more compact cobblestone generator, this is probably going to be the one that you're seeing. If you do know of one, please let me know down in the comments of whoever made it. If you have a like schematic link or something, let me know if there's a more compact version than one of these two. To boil it down to how many drills do you need for full crushing wheel speed, let's do some actual math from this 6,545 per hour one to see how many we need exactly. So if we take the crushing wheel speed of 65,089.1 cobblestone per hour that it can process and divide it by 6545, then we get 9.9448 drills that are needed to fully saturate a set of crushing wheels. Hold on one second. I have just realized something, and I don't know if it's a bug with the mod that I'm using to count items or the create mod, but we'll figure that out very shortly. You remember how I was saying with this math, we need 10 drills. Because, I mean, 65 times 10 is 65,000, which is the speed that crushing wheels go. This contraption has 20 drills and only produces 65,000 items, which means the drills aren't working at full speed. Oh, hold on, incorrect. The drills are not working in tandem with each other to break a block here. So I switched them all out with hoppers, and now, if you look at the top there, we're getting 130,000 cobblestone per hour from this farm. Because I'm, first of all, piping it straight into wool, and second of all, using hoppers. I am really interested now to see if we're using chutes, what, if anything, the speed changes here. Because if that's the case, then I'm fairly confident that's a bug. The last time I said that, it was not a bug, and that was how the game was supposed to work. So let's have all three of these running at the same time. Oh my god, tick speed on all, or mining speed on all three of these is the same when we're using chutes. This is crazy. I didn't think we would get new information. Oh my god, I have been building slower farms for these the whole time. Okay. What if we, let's just confirm. Counter, 65,000, 65,000, 65,000. This should be 2 times 65, and this should be 3 times 65. We're using all 3 drills, but because of chutes underneath it, for whatever reason, it doesn't work. What if I put a hopper underneath it? Oh, that broke it. That's my fault. Shouldn't have done that while tick warping. Okay, let's see now. This number's climbing. It's climbing. Yeah, hopper underneath it works. What if we do a funnel? Funnel underneath instead of a chute. What does that tell us about how this works? I've reset them. No way. Chutes are the problem. Using funnels and using hoppers both work. Chutes don't work. Why? Using normal chutes doesn't work. What about smart chutes? Smart chutes also doesn't work. This might be a bug. I mean, there's always the possibility that it's not, but I don't know why it wouldn't be. That chutes specifically do not take into account multiple drills mining the same cobblestone block, but every other inventory pulley thing in the game does. Okay, this is good to know. I can't believe I checked this, and I can't believe it's actually different. Okay, well this is going in the beginning of the video to hook you in, but it's also going here now because now you can see what in the world I had to do to figure out that was a problem, because hello? But I guess that means now we can replace all of these. And now I bet if we turn this thing on, this will be going at 130 items per hour and whatnot. We can turn these off. Yep, if you check it out up top there, 128,000 items an hour. Interestingly, not the full 130,000 we were getting. Oh, hold on, it's going up. We might have just needed a reset. Let's see it now. Okay, yep. Yep, it just needed a reset. 130,000 for white. This is the strangest thing I've ever found, I think. But that now makes this farm and this one over here pretty much the same speed, and that means this one can feed 2 crushing wheels. And I think then that this one can feed a set of them themselves. If we check the speed of our smaller cobblestone generator here, we can see that, yeah, it easily produces more. I think that's because I have an extra set here that I can, I suppose, remove. I don't need them. And that lets me shrink the farm by 1. This is actually great news because this is quite small and compact, all things considered. The fact that this little machine here can power a full set of crushing wheels is actually really nice. And this is, again, just using 10 drills here because that's all we need to power a full set of crushing wheels. I really like that it's exactly 10 drills for 1 pair of crushing wheels. It's really easy to remember. That's going to be super useful. I hope you enjoyed this video. I learned something new. I hope you did too. It might not be on purpose, but it's always worth checking if for some reason you're not getting the items you expect to figure out why, because what the heck is that, Chutes and Mr. Create Mod? Figure it out. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned a lot, and at least keep an eye out for future Create 6 farms that are going to be using these cobblestone generators. Obviously, let me know if there's a more compact one, because I really want to see it. It may be that this is the most compact version, and we do 3 on top of each other or something like that, and then like a lava thing down. I'll try it. We'll see how it works. The only issue is we need an inventory below it, so it wouldn't be that compact, but I think it would be fun to try. But yeah, let me know of a more compact version of this, and I suppose any cobblestone-based farms that you want to see. Currently, I'm planning iron, andesite, and maybe a few others that I can't think of right now. So if there's more, let me know down in the comments. I hope you all enjoyed this video, and like and subscribe. That's all.